Rain poured outside the grand glass windows of the Bellevue Hotel, blurring the world beyond into streaks of silver. Inside, light glittered from crystal chandeliers, reflecting off silk dresses and polished champagne glasses. It was a wedding everyone in town had been talking about, a union of beauty, wealth, and power. Amelia Ford, a model-turned-socialite, was marrying Daniel Hargrove, the heir to one of the largest construction empires in the country. But as guests toasted and music played softly, a janitor silently mopped near the far corner. His name was Ryan. Early 40s, worn face, sunburnt skin, one leg slightly twisted beneath an old brace that squeaked with every movement. Most people barely noticed him. He was part of the background, like the furniture or the marble columns. Yet tonight, fate had plans no one could predict. Ryan's story wasn't one of laziness or misfortune. Once he'd been Daniel's mentor, an engineer with vision, respected by all, a man who could turn sketches into skyscrapers. But after an accident on site 6 years ago, he lost partial use of his leg. The company, Daniel's father's company, had promised support, but when Ryan's medical bills piled up, he was quietly dismissed. No severance, no pension, just pity. And pity doesn't feed a family. He took whatever job he could get, cleaning floors in the same halls he once designed. That night, as he worked quietly, he heard laughter near the entrance. Daniel was showing off the new ring on Amelia's finger. "Nothing but the best for my bride," he said proudly, his arm around her waist. She smiled, radiant and elegant. But when her eyes briefly met Ryan's, a flicker of discomfort crossed her face. She quickly looked away. Ryan lowered his head, continuing to mop, pretending not to notice. But his heart felt heavy. He wasn't bitter, just tired. Later, as the evening went on, Amelia needed help. The hem of her wedding dress had caught on a broken tile near the service hallway. She called out impatiently, "Someone, anyone." Ryan was the only one nearby. Limping slightly, he hurried over. "Ma'am, careful, there's a crack in the floor," he said gently, kneeling to untangle the lace. But Amelia didn't look at him kindly. Instead, she frowned, noticing his uniform. You're the cleaner?" she asked, her tone dripping with disdain. "Yes, ma'am," he replied quietly, eyes focused on freeing her dress. She sighed, "don't touch the fabric, you'll ruin it. My God, Daniel, get someone else, this man looks filthy." Daniel chuckled awkwardly. "It's fine, Amelia, he's just trying to help." But Amelia wasn't done. She tilted her head, looking at Ryan's leg brace. "I've seen you limping around all day. How do they even let people like you work here? You've become a pathetic cripple," she spat, loud enough for nearby guests to hear. Gasps filled the air, the music stopped. Even Daniel looked stunned. For a moment, the hall went silent except for the soft hum of the air conditioner. Ryan froze, the mop handle trembling in his hand. His eyes lifted slowly, and when he spoke, his voice wasn't angry, it was steady and heartbreakingly sincere. "You're right," he said quietly, "I am crippled, but not in the way you think. My leg may be weak, but my spirit is. I built the foundation of the very company that's paying for your wedding tonight. I trained your husband when he was still learning how to hold a blueprint. And while I fell literally trying to save a worker's life, I never once cursed fate. I just learned that people's true character shows when they see someone on the ground." A hush fell over the room. Daniel's face paled. Amelia's lips parted, but no sound came. Ryan stood slowly but proudly, his brace clicking against the marble. "I may clean your floors now, Mrs. Hargrove," he continued, "but at least I can still look at myself in the mirror knowing I earned every scar honestly. Can you say the same?" The silence stretched. Amelia's eyes glistened, not with shame yet, but confusion. Daniel stepped forward, putting a hand on Ryan's shoulder. "Ryan, I didn't know," he whispered. Ryan nodded. "You didn't ask." And then he walked away, leaving behind a hall full of stunned faces and one trembling bride whose reflection in the mirror no longer looked so beautiful. Days turned into weeks. The wedding made headlines, but the viral moment wasn't the dress or the venue. It was a leaked clip someone had recorded on their phone. Ryan's words spread like wildfire. "I built the foundation of the company that paid for this wedding." It was played across social media, millions admiring the humility and strength behind the man with the limp. Amelia disappeared from public eye for a while. Daniel's company faced backlash. People began asking questions about worker treatment and unpaid injuries. And in the middle of the storm, Ryan just kept showing up to work, quietly, sweeping floors and fixing broken tiles. Then one morning, a black car pulled up outside the hotel. Daniel stepped out, looking different, tired but resolute. He approached Ryan in the hallway. Ryan, he began, I've been ashamed. My father's company wronged you, I wronged you, but if you'll let me, I want to make it right. I want you back not as a cleaner but as a consultant. You deserve that. Ryan looked at him for a long moment. Daniel, he said softly, I don't need your pity, but if you're sincere, help others like me, those who gave their strength to build something but were forgotten once they couldn't walk fast enough. Daniel nodded, I promise. As months passed, the company started a new initiative: medical support, retraining for injured workers, and financial aid for families. Ryan led the program, helping hundreds rebuild their lives. And Amelia, one quiet afternoon, she showed up at the office in a simple outfit, no jewelry, no designer perfume. She approached Ryan, eyes lowered. I came to apologize, she said. You didn't deserve what I said that night. I've learned I was the crippled one all along. Ryan smiled gently. Then you're already healing, he said. Tears welled in her eyes as she whispered, thank you. Years later, Ryan's limp never went away, but neither did his quiet dignity. People would often see him walking through the new headquarters, a place he helped redesign. He no longer cleaned floors, he built futures. And if you looked closely, you'd notice a small plaque near the entrance. Strength isn't how fast you run, it's how you rise when you fall.